welcome to a new video. Today's video is slightly different because first of all I am talking, and that is because today we have an account showcase, an AR-59 one at that. Before we begin, I have a few things to say regarding my account, and that is I started during Eula's rerun, which is around 1.5 years ago. Also, I am not free to play as I typically get welkins and battle pass. Nowadays I don't really get battle pass because I don't need the materials as much. Also, I will be putting timestamps in the description if you want to skip to whatever part you want to see first. And without further ado, I will start the showcase by showing you what characters I have. Here are all the characters I have. I have all of the 4 stars except for Myla and Candace. Out of all the 5 stars that I don't have, the ones I want are Kokomi, Zhongli, and Mona. Fun fact about Kokomi is that I have tried on all of her banners to get her, however, I still don't have her yet. Hopefully though, I will get her on her next rerun. Now for the next part, I will be showing you the characters that I have built. Starting off, we have Kazuha, who is my favorite character. This is his build details. He is currently on a DPS build, although he does have an EM build that is currently on Surcose. He is using an R5 Blackcliff longsword, and for his artifacts he has a 2-piece Viridescence and a 2-piece Shimenawas. He is currently at C3. I got him at C0 when he released, and then I got him to C3 on his rerun. Luckily, I did not lose any 50-50 except for what would have been his C4. Hopefully, I will be able to get his C6 on his next rerun. Next up, we have Ganyu, who is my second triple crowned character. She is on a melt build. She is also using an R1 Amos that I got on standard during her banner with Zhongli. She is using a 4-piece Wanderer set. And yes, that is 17.1 crit rate on her flower. She is at C0. Her talents are at 10, 10, and 10. Moving on to my third triple crowned character, Tighnari. Here are his build details. He is currently using an R5 slingshot because I don't have another bow that he can use that isn't already on another character. He is using a 4-piece gilded set. He is currently at C0. If I ever lose the 50-50, I do hope that it is him, because I do want his constellations. His talent levels are at 10, 10, and 10. The next character we have is Itto. This is his build. It's currently a work in progress, since it could definitely be much better. He is using an R4 Serpent's Spine. He is using a 4-piece Husk set. I don't plan on farming for him until I get Kokomi, because once I get her, I can farm for both him and Kokomi at the same time, making the domain more efficient. He is at C0. His talents are at 9, 8, and 9. Our next 5-star character is Wanderer. Here is his build. For my 5-star DPS characters, I like to keep their crit rate at 60 to 70 and their crit damage at 190 to 200 without compromising on other substats. He is using an R5 Dodoco Tails. As for his artifacts, he has a 2-piece Gladiators and a 2-piece Viridescence. He is at C0 like a lot of my other 5-star characters. His talents are at 8, 8, and 8. I do, however, want to get them to 9, 9, and 9. Our next character is Xiao. And here is the build details. He is currently using an R1 Primordial Jade Wing Spear. As for his artifacts, he has on a 2-piece Viridescence and a 2-piece Gladiators. He is at C0. His talents are at 9, 9, and 9. Next up, we have Ayaka, which is one of the only other characters besides Kazuha that I won the 50-50 on, the other being her brother Ayato. Here are her stats. She definitely needs more energy recharge, however I am not currently farming for better Blizzard Strayer artifacts at the moment. For her weapon, she uses an R3 black sword that she shares with her brother. She is on a 4-piece Blizzard Strayer set. She is at C0. Her talents are at 9, 9, and 9. Next up, we have Hu Tao. Here are her current build details. She is using an R1 deathmatch. If I ever get the battle pass, most likely I will be getting refinements for deathmatch. She is using a 4-piece Crimson Witch of Flames. That could definitely be improved on, but I really don't like that domain. She is at C0, and her talent levels are at 9, 9, and 8. Our next character is Jean. She has on a support build, and her weapon is an R3 Favonius sword. She uses a 2-piece Viridescence and a 2-piece Maidens. She is at C4 because I keep losing the 50-50 to her. I don't mind her being at C4 though, because her 4th constellation benefits my Anemo DPS characters. Her talents are at 5, 5, and 11. Our next 5-star character is Yoimiya. Eventually I will be getting her to level 90. Here are her build details. It's currently a work in progress. She is using an R1 Rust, and for her artifacts she has a 4-piece Shimenawas. Currently I am farming the Shimenawas in Emblem domain, so hopefully she gets better artifacts soon. She is at C0, and her talents are at 8, 8, and 2. Next up we have Qiqi, who is primarily a healer. She uses this weapon, which will be at level 90 one day. As for her artifacts, she uses a 2-piece Gladiators and a 2-piece Shimenawas. She is at C1, and her talents are at 3, 6, and 6. Next up we have Ayato, who I am currently building. Here are his current stats. He needs more energy recharge as well as some of the other characters I have. He uses an R3 black sword that he shares with Ayaka. He has a 4-piece Gladiator set. He is at C0. His talents are at 6, 6, and 6. I also have a C1 Diluc, however he is not built. Now then, let's move on to the 4-star characters I have. For my 4-star characters, I typically leave them at level 80 or level 70. And to start off, we have Fischl. My 4-star character builds aren't as good as my 5-star character builds, however they are still decent. She uses an R5 stringless, and for her artifacts she has on a 4-piece Deepwood Memory set. She is at C6. Her talents are at 1, 11, and 4. Next up, we have Kuki, who is one of my favorite healers because she doesn't depend on her burst to heal. Here are her stats. Basically, I try to get as much HP on her as possible. This is her weapon that will be level 90. It's at R5. She has on 2-piece Maiden and 2-piece Ocean Hued. She is unfortunately still at C0. And her talents are at 1, 8, and 1. Our next character is Gorou. He is on a support build for Itto. Has a lot of energy recharge. He currently has a level 40 R5 Fading Twilight, however he shares a weapon with Faruzan, which is an R4 Favonius Warbow. As for his artifacts, he has a 2-piece Husk and a 2-piece Maiden Beloved. He is at C5. His talents are at 1, 11, and 9. Our next character is Faruzan. As for her stats, I basically try to get as much ER on her as possible. She uses an R4 Favonius Warbow, and she has on a 4-piece Viridescent set. The reason why she has a Viridescent set is because I just have a lot of extra Viridescent pieces, and these just happen to have the most ER substat. She is at C1. Her talents are at 1, 1, and 8. The next character is Sayu, who is primarily built as a healer. She has an R1 Wolf's Greystone. And for her artifacts, she has 2-piece Gladiators and 2-piece Maiden Beloved. She is at C5, and her talent levels are at 4, 7, and 11. Next up, we have Diona, who is on a support build for her shield and healing. I basically try to get as much HP and energy recharge on her as possible. She uses an R5 sacrificial bow that I will be getting to level 90. And as for her artifact, she has a 2-piece Tenacity and 2-piece Maiden set. She is at C5. Her talents are at 1, 9, and 9. Next up, we have Xingqiu. This is his build so far. It's currently a work in progress as I am getting better emblem pieces. He is using an R1 sacrificial sword until I get my R3 sacrificial sword to level 90. He is on a 4-piece emblem set. He is at C6. His talents are at 3, 10, and 11. Next up, we have Bennett.
Ow! Where did that come from?
He has an R3 Sapwood Blade for the high base attack. He has on a decent 4-piece Noblesse Obliged set. He is at C6. And his talents are at 3, 7, and 11. Our next character is Xiangling. Her build is also a work in progress as I get better emblem pieces. She is using an R1 Primordial Jade Wing Spear that I will be getting to level 90 one day. And as for her artifact, she currently has on 2-piece emblem and 2-piece Lava Walker. She will be getting a 4-piece emblem set once I have enough for that. She is at C6. Her talents are at 3, 10, and 11. Next up, we have my half-built Surcose. She is currently using Mappa Mare at Refinement 2. As for her artifact, she has a 4-piece Viridescent set that she shares with Kazuha. She is at C1. Once she gets more constellations, I will build her further. Her talents are at 1, 1, and 6. Our next character is Thoma. He is currently using an R5 Favonius Lance that I will be getting to level 90 as well. Sometimes he does use Black Tassel. He has on a 4-piece tenacity set. He is at C6. His talents are at 1, 9, and 9. In the future, however, I do plan to build Yao, Jinjin, and Dori. Unless I get another healer, I will be building Dori after I get Yao's name card. Next, I will be showing you what achievements and name cards I have. Starting off with name cards. Here are the ones I have. My favorites include Yoimiya's, Lila's, Tighnari's, and Nilo's. Here are my achievements. I currently have 703 achievements. I try to collect them when I can, especially those that come with daily commissions. I'm missing a lot of the Sumeru achievements because I haven't been doing a lot of the Sumeru stuff. Anyway, this will be the end of part 1. In the next part, I will be doing map exploration, Serenity Teapot stuff, quests, story hangouts, and Spiral Abyss.
Surely enough to convince
With that,
anyone to
I will
become a
see you
wanderer.
in a new video. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. See you next time.